Let's talk to Miriam, who's an Extinction Rebellion activist who took part in the action. Miriam, we've only got your first name. I don't know why you're so reluctant to give a second name, but why take this kind of action today, digging up a lawn? You did it outside the Home Office last week. What signal does that send to people that you're digging up lawns?
Hi, Iain. Thanks for having me on. Trinity College has £9.1 million invested in fossil fuel companies, as well as the investment in the lorry parks, which will take 3,200 HDBs every day and 600 cars. And we are in a climate and ecological emergency.
So would you like to close down the Port of Felixstowe then?
Say again, sorry?
Would you like to close down the Port of Felixstowe? Is that what you're really wanting to do here?
No, the action wasn't related to today. Like I said, we're in a climate and ecological emergency. Trinity College owns Innocence Farm and wants to develop it for commercial and residential use. And we recognise that the monoculture of the lawns at Trinity College represents a destruction of the natural world, which Extinction Rebellion are obviously trying to prevent.
But digging up a lawn is something that is good for the environment. You've done it outside the Home Office. Goodness knows what that was all about.
A lawn is actually a monoculture, which is not good for the environment.
I thought it was a lawn.
It doesn't sustain wildlife. People aren't allowed at the college.
What do you mean it doesn't sustain wildlife? Insects live in a lawn.
Not to the scale that they would do if there was beautiful trees and other.
Okay, let's just knock down the whole of Trinity College then and put it down to grass.
Again, sorry?
Let's knock down the whole of Trinity College then and the whole of Cambridge and let's put it back to meadows.
Well, yeah, Cambridge does have a lot of responsibility to its students invest hundreds of millions of pounds in fossil fuel companies, which the students at the university have a voice and a right to be heard to the fact that our futures.
Well, fine, let them make the protest. Why are you making it on their behalf? How patronising is that?
Well, I intend to actually study after my undergraduate at the University of Cambridge for a master's in anthropology, but after hearing about the state of affairs at Cambridge University, I definitely won't attend there.
You go, girl. The Trinity College owns the land that the Port of Felixstowe is on. Are you objecting to the Port of Felixstowe existing?
Well, the difficulty is that obviously land use can be made to be sustainable and to be used in a wonderful way that can sustain lots of different life. So if Trinity College decide to use that land for the better of the community and have wonderful, greenhouses and grow and have allotments there.
This is utopian stuff, but we actually have to have ports, don't we, to import the goods and sea. I imagine you'd probably agree with me that freight by sea is better than freight by air, and then taking it from Felixstowe on the railways, we can both agree is better than taking it by road, but some will always have to go by road.
Yeah, so the issue there is the fact that everything in this current situation has to be addressed to be able to change, because if we continue on the trajectory that we're on, we're at 1.3 degrees of warming above pre-industrial levels, and if we do not address every single aspect of how we live our lives in this society, people my age will not have a future, and we're terrified, and we don't take these actions lightly at all.
No,
we actually find them very
fine. But can't you think of better ways of doing it? Because I think Extinction Rebellion, when it first burst on the scene, I think you got a lot of public support. But this kind of thing puts people off supporting you.
I do understand that, and I have sympathies for people who are not understanding the messaging. But this is a message to Trinity College and to the other colleges at the university, is the fact that they are contributing to the destruction of not only the natural world, but of the heat and the climate.
So are we all. I mean, anyway, we're going to talk much more about this. Hope you might be listening, Miriam, in a moment after 8 o'clock. Thank you. That's Miriam, who's an Extinction Rebellion activist. Now, young carers spend an average of 25 hours a week looking after loved ones, according to new research. Their unpaid work is the equivalent of £12,000 a year on a part-time carer's wage, says Action for Children. The Department for Education says young carers should be protected from excessive caring responsibilities. Carol Idden is Deputy Chief Executive for Action for Children. Carol, thank you very much for joining us. Can you really measure family care in monetary terms?
No, you can't. That's an example that we've used just to draw attention to the fact that we have children as very young children in some instances, providing a service actually to the state that goes unrecognised and really isn't providing children with the support that they need in order to be children, actually.
I totally agree with you in that I've done phone-ins on this, and I've heard from adults who were carers as children, and indeed some children who currently do this. And it is unimaginable, I think, for most people to think that the pressure that puts on children at a very young age, and it can be under 10, can't it?
Oh, we have stories from some children who are as young as 5 or 6 who are taking on not maybe the level of care that perhaps some of the older children do, but nonetheless have some significant areas of responsibility. So, for example, if they have a parent who is epileptic, they have to learn very, very early as a very young child how to summon help, how to make sure that their parent is safe, how to, phone for an ambulance, etc., etc., from quite a young age. And that is unacceptable, quite frankly. Children not being able to be children, not being able to have fun, and having the anxiety of maybe doing something wrong that results in their parent getting hurt.
We talk about the social care issue as if that only applies to caring for older people or people with dementia. But of course, this is a classic example of where the social care system lets down families, doesn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we have a social care system, whether that's for children or for young adults or for older people, that is actually broke. And unless we start to resolve the issues around that, then children are going to continue to have to take on more and more responsibilities as the system struggles under the current funding levels that they're getting. And then they're having to make some very difficult choices. Do you support elderly people or do you support children? Do you support roads getting mended? Those are some of the challenges that local authorities have.